Hello, fantasy baseball fans. Sorry for the delay. I'm going to stop making the expectation that I'm going to check in every week or whatever I keep saying because I just never seem to be able to meet that expectation, and I don't like setting a false expectation. Here is a let me see. I guess right now it'd be week 17 fantasy baseball update. Been out of the country. I've been really kind of busy with some side projects and stuff. So I'm very pleased just to say right up front that things have not fallen apart. The wheels have not fallen off of the Circus Maximus cart here. So for those that don't know, this is I'll just start with this is what I consider to be my big money league, and it's not that much money if you divide it up by 20 weeks, that's for sure. But um, it's big money to me. So if you'll notice, we are 9-8. We are currently in sixth place. Six teams make the playoffs. We're playing a 6-11 team this coming week. Theoretically, we should be able to beat that team. I can just tell you now, nothing is guaranteed in this league. I have lost to this team down here that's 5-12, and I lost by less than a point to this team here that's 14-3. So it's been pretty unpredictable. And if there's ever been a truer um, euphemism, just commit to the grind. That's been this league. You just got to keep setting your lineup. You just got to keep your nose to the grindstone, if you will, and just be persistent and be resilient and not get too caught up in the short term. It's a long term process, that's for sure. So we are 9-8, and at the risk of ruining something or jinxing it, I guess I should say, I'm feeling okay about where we're at, even though we're in the last playoff spot. I'll show you the schedule here in a little bit, but there are 5 weeks remaining, which seems like one extra week from last year, which I almost wish that were not the case. But 5 weeks remaining, and I think we are 2 games up. Yeah, here's the seventh place team, and they're 7-10, so we're 2 games up on the seventh place team um, with 5 to go. So we have a magic number, if you will. Just for the record, though, the eighth place team is also 7-10. So really, all we have to do is, likely go 3-2 in those five and be in pretty good shape, because they would have to then go 5-0, which is very unlikely. In fact, they probably even play each other at some point, I would bet. So um, I do think I'm going to make the playoffs. The other thing I would point out here, and yes, I do kind of plan it this way, and that might be to my own detriment. I'm not sure, but uh, we have 65 transactions for the whole season in this league. I have only spent 21. In fact, I distinctly remember spending like 3 of them in 1 week for a pitching problem, and I couldn't get it figured out with the person who was supposed to be playing that day, and I ended up picking up a guy, cutting him immediately, picking up another guy, cutting him immediately, picking up another guy, didn't end up starting him anyway, and cut him the next week. So I've literally wasted, I know, 3 transactions, but I have been trying really hard not to spend these. Um, you should know, those of you that are new to fantasy baseball, uh, the regular season is one thing, and then the playoffs are kind of another, and transactions matter. There are people who will load up their pitchers on a Sunday to beat you in the regular season, especially if there are no transaction limits. Whether there are or not transaction limits, I try not to do that through the regular season. I try to just stick with my guys and just let it roll. And if someone does beat me doing that, I remember it. And then they just better know that when we get to the playoffs, I'll remember that. And frankly, I probably will still try to stick with my guys. But if there's no transaction limits, I can go in and churn the free agent market to where they're all on waivers. I can just pick up, cut to where they can't pick them up if that's what they're wanting to do. So just know that I keep track. In this league, I haven't seen anyone doing that because you have a limit of the transactions. We'll talk about another league here in a minute where there are no limits. But um, I wanted to keep a majority of my transactions not only for the final push, if I needed them, but also for the playoffs. So if I end up playing a team that I am seated lower than, everybody on this video know, that doesn't mean a whole lot, because I will have the flexibility to either load up my pitching if I see somebody out there that I think I can use. We have very strict limits in this league. Or if I feel like they're going to pick up a pitcher, I can go in, actually pick up that pitcher, even cut them and just spend a transaction, but put them on the waiver wire so that that person cannot pick up that pitcher for that day. So that is something I do think about a lot. And for now, it appears I'm going to get my chance, at least at a playoff berth. I'm a little disappointed, frankly, that I went 2-4 in my division. I swept. I feel like I swept somebody. I might have even been. It was one of these teams up here, because I think I got swept by Team Gerald, which I can't even understand. But I don't. We'll look at the schedule here in a minute. But 2-4 in my division was pretty disappointing. But I think we're going to make it. In the end, right now we would end up playing this team, which is a very good team, and I don't think I've ever beat them. So, but I've also never played them in the playoffs, and I don't know that the strategy is necessarily the same playing someone in the playoffs as it is in the regular season. Here is the schedule, and I wanted to show you all a heartbreaker here. This was that 14-3 team that I lost by less than a point here. 0.67 points, and I did have a reliever who scored negative. This guy will tell you, by the way, that he left a guy on the bench that he should have played. So he feels like he should have beat me anyway. But this is a team I have not beaten, and all I can say is at some point things are going to break my way. And I really hope it's in the playoffs, and I hope I get a chance. So we'll see how that goes. But we're sort of, back and forth on this. Win, loss, win, loss. Loss. And we had a 3-game winning streak back here. This was actually when I was out of the country, and I was really only getting to check in like once a day on this. And we had a pretty good stretch in there. I can tell you there was one up here I lost that I should not have. That was this one right here to Team Red. I think he might have been the one who swept me, actually. But 195 points, that is pathetic. And I just needed my guys to just come through a little bit, and I just couldn't get them to do anything. It was very disappointing. If I had to pick, these are 2 losses that should not have happened. So if anything, my record, I think, should be better. But I like coming in under the radar. I like coming in maybe a little bit of an underdog. And so that's kind of where we're approaching this. The roster has pretty much stayed the same. I have loved the Drake Baldwin, Ivan Herrera situation. In fact, there have been times just like today where I've started them both. Needless to say, the big dumper advantage, the one team that had, the great catcher last year that couldn't be beat, has not really been a thing this year. And in fact, if you had a couple of good ones that you could switch in and out on off days and that sort of thing, it's really helped, and that's been good for me. Here's my Bryce Harper, and again, the only reason I have him is because 2 years ago I let the other Philadelphia Philly go, Schwarber, and I should not have done that for sure. But he's been okay. Jazz has been an enigma. He was supposed to have a 30-30 season this year. He's not even going to be close. Bregman's been a little bit of an enigma. He has not been anywhere near what I was hoping he would be. Abrams has been very serviceable at shortstop. The guy that has saved my outfield this year has been Jordan Walker. I picked him up off the free agent heap at the beginning of the year, just on a hunch, and man, did it pay off. Pete Crow Armstrong was one of my keepers, and he has paid off as well. I got to keep him for like a 10th round pick. Next year, if I keep him, he'll be like a 1st round pick, so I don't know if I can do that. Duran's been disappointing. Bush was a keeper, and he's filled in, for a 21st round pick. He's been fine. I found Jackson Holiday on the waiver wire, and because Jazz Chisholm has been bothering me, I spent one of my transactions on grabbing Holiday. He does, to me, have the potential in this dog days of summer to just catch fire, and I really hope that happens. Kyle Tucker has been a huge disappointment. He was my 1st round pick this year, and man, in that lineup, I don't know how you don't do better than he has. Adames has also filled in fairly nicely. Karros has filled in a couple times when, again, Bregman has been off. I even had cut Marte and picked him back up. And I've not really had to use him much. But He and Marsh are pretty much just depth options. Roman Anthony, my other keeper, being on the IL for 60 days has not been helpful at all. And even before then, he wasn't doing great. So probably have to throw him back next year. What's really saved me pitching wise has been Gavin Williams. I had him a little bit last year off the free agent waiver wire. This year I drafted him. He's been carrying my pitching squad, pitching staff pretty much. Imanaga has also been very good. I had been starting Fairbanks pretty much every day. Devin Williams hit the waiver wire, so I decided to grab him at the All-Star break. And he has not been pitching much lately, so I may have to go back to Fairbanks. But I figured it was worth a risk because Fairbanks is not all that. So, if he sucks, no big deal. I'll just throw Fairbanks back in. Rasmussen, I keep missing his starts because I keep thinking I'm going to do better with other people. I need to stop that. I need to just put him in. He's been great. I have not used Michael King very much this year, and McGreevy is just sort of an extra piece. So that's what the roster looks like. Again, we're 5 weeks out from the playoffs, and I really just want to go, if I can go 3-2, end up 12-10, I'd be pretty happy. 11-11, I think gets me in. I feel like my scoring and everything is pretty good, but 12, I think definitely gets me in. And if I could finish better and maybe get out of that 3-6 game and maybe get into the 4-5, I'd probably prefer that. I just feel like if you give me an even shot with somebody, I have the transactions where I can probably manipulate things enough to pull off a win. But we'll see. I don't know how the payoffs work in this. I don't think making the playoffs gets you anything. I think you had to win your division to maybe win some money back up front. But I do know first, second, and third do pay something. And if I were to finish anywhere in there, I'd be pretty stoked. Honestly, making the championship game, I would take what I got, win or lose. I would be very, very pleased with this season. But it has been work. It has been very, very difficult staying focused and just trying to not overreact when things are going bad and not get too happy when things are going good. That's for sure. Let's jump into some other leagues that I'm in here just real quick. This one's the one where there are no limits. And so I had a guy beat me because he went in and started like 5 pitchers on a Sunday or something. Folks, if you're going to do especially a dynasty league, you can't have someone just churning the waiver wire, the free agent wire like that. That's not a dynasty. That's week to week. It's kind of bush league. You think you're smart, you're really not. It doesn't make you a good fantasy player. It just makes you a good rules bender, or rules take advantage of her. That's for sure. But I would look over here at these moves and just take a look at, there's one guy who seems to be transacting more than anybody else. And, okay. I mean, and for what it's worth, I've outscored him by 200 points this year almost. And, I have not been doing that. So if I find that person in the playoffs, again, I'll probably be, just keeping that in mind. And all you have to do is get up early. You just get up early, you churn through who's available that day, put them on the waiver wire to where they won't be available till the next day after their start is over. And it's not that hard to beat them. So that's all you got to know, is that's facts. I'm a little intrigued by this guy here who has not transacted at all this year, and he's 9-8. That's probably a pretty good team, and it's probably a little bit mismanaged, I would bet. This Tuna Fishes guy, his whole deal is pitching. He cleaned up on the pitching side, and so he's doing really, really well. And I would imagine that means that the settings for pitching were probably such that I should have paid closer attention to that, because I tend to go for hitters, which helps me in that other league. But this one's a free league. It is a dynasty league. So I kind of drafted who I wanted, and I don't really worry about it too much as far as wins and losses and that sort of thing. And in the playoffs, I'll try really hard, and it does look like I'm going to make it. That's for sure. Right now, I would be playing Kapalua, which is, I think, who I'm playing right now. So there would even, I'd just say, too, it'd be a time where if I really wanted to get this guy in some trouble, I could go churn that free agent waiver wire even when I'm not playing him. I could just go in and just kind of manipulate it to where he can't get all those pitchers and see if I can get him beat even though I'm not playing him. But I doubt I'll do that. I like to save that because once they see you do it, if it doesn't work, then they're going to know. Like, you want to save that. That's for sure. So anyway, this is Swing and Miss Dynasty. I do intend to take down the tuna fishes if I get a chance to do so. We'll see how that goes. I have two other leagues. They're both in Fantrax. Here's another cautionary tale for you. I lost this week. We have again pretty strict 5-start limit on our pitchers in this one league. This is a redraft, which again I do not take very seriously, and there's no money or anything in it. So, but we just had the All-Star week, and apparently you could start 8 pitchers, and I just stuck with the normal 5. I didn't know that because it lasted over, a week and a half period, and I don't think it would have necessarily changed the outcome. I haven't really gone that far into it, but I was really upset that I didn't pay closer attention. So I lost this week. I'm 8-7-1, and I mean, if you look, I mean, the 8th place team and the 9th place team, I mean, they're all still kind of in it here. So I really need to finish strong in this league. The one thing I will say for myself is I think I am second in scoring. Yeah, it looks like I'm second in scoring here. And so again, for me to be in 4th place doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But this is one where, again, I'm not taking it a whole lot to heart as far as how we do in this. There is a guy, and I haven't even gone so far as to look, who does also churn his roster pretty much week to week. He cuts everybody, he picks up people. It's a redraft, and to me that makes a little bit more sense, but rather than a dynasty. But anyway, just so you know, I am kind of struggling in this one for sure. Here's my longest standing dynasty league. I won this league the very first year. Thought I was going to win it the second year and did not. I ended up losing to the guy who I beat in the finals the first year. I lost to him in the semifinals the second year, and then he went and lost in the championship again. So he's second place 2 years in a row. I'm 5th place, and this team I've never really felt good about it. I didn't feel good about it last year either, actually, and then it got hot at the end, and then it lost in the playoffs. And I feel like this one might do the same. The team that really should win this one is the one at the top. He's been competitive all the time, and he just catches some bad breaks, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm 18-14. I feel like I'll probably be in the playoffs, and my teams usually do way better, especially in this league, after the All-Star break. The year I won it, we did not lose after the All-Star break. And I was like the 5th seed. Like, I wasn't even that great. But we got hot at the right time, which I think is a big deal. So once again, we are 3rd in scoring, but we're 5th in the standings. I would like to be like 5th in scoring and 3rd in the standings. That never works out that way for me. But 18-14, we play one game against the league median every week, so you get an extra matchup. And yeah, I've won 4 straight. I'm doing pretty well in this league. So I intend to be there. This Whitey Ball team, by the way, 21-11, they were last place last year, and a new guy came in, took over, and I did make some trades with them that I can see definitely help them out. I hope that I get them in the playoffs and beat them. I think that would be, I think this 4-5 matchup here would be pretty sweet if we could make it happen. This was a league, by the way, too, where I didn't used to have pitching start limits. And last year when I lost in the playoffs, it was because of that. The guy put in like 30 pitchers over a 2-week period, and he ended up beating me. And so this year I have put limits. It's like 17. It's like a bunch. But you can't just weight your roster over to pitching and just start, 5 pitchers a day like you could in the past. So this one looks like we're probably going to be there in the end. And again, I'll try to give you guys an update, hopefully before playoffs start. I know in the big money league, we're 5 weeks out. So that's probably about when the next video will be coming. And if one comes sooner, then so much the better. But if not, that's probably more likely. Fantasy baseball update. You guys stay safe out there, and I'll check back in with you later on.